Namaste. This is Michelle Skaletski-Boyd. It's important you understand that even though I am certified with the International Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association, I am not a doctor, nor should any part of these experiences be construed as medical diagnosis or advice. Most importantly, follow your inner truth and enjoy the experience, come what may.
Namaste, it's Michelle Skaletski-Boyd, your soul journey guide. Many of you have come to me and you've asked me, how do I make more money? Knowing that our relationships, our personality, and how we fit in with our family, with our community, is directly correlated with our relationship with money, the second chakra. So move up then to the third chakra for a moment. So this is the yellow chakra. This is about yourself, right? Your identity with yourself and how you see yourself, how you love yourself. So let's talk about the ego for a minute. So again, ego has real no context about authentic self. It can measure things, right? It can measure how much money we have in the bank or what our title is or how people might value us or see us. For me, many of you know that I have done a lot of things in my career, and I've been a lot of different places, whether I've done best-selling books or I was named one of the best psychic mediums. Titles for a long time meant a lot to me. Being called a best-selling author, being called a best psychic medium. Oh my goodness, my ego loved all that. And what's interesting is it had context. It could say, hey, I'm good. I'm really good at this because my bank account shows me, it reflects that I'm good, and also my title reflects that I'm good. There's some of you who titles never really mattered. Money just kind of flows to you. You know, you have kind of a rebel personality, and going to school or getting yourself ahead really didn't matter so much as just daily living. You might be more street smart than book smart type of thing. The reason why I share this is because when you're reclaiming yourself, I want you to know that the ego can be a little tricky. It can trick you sometimes. For example, if all of a sudden you are recognizing that, hey, my relationships with family, my relationships with friends, it was always up, it was always down. Some days it was loving and good and we were laughing, we were getting along, and other days, oh my gosh, it was abusive, it was chaotic, it was dramatic. If that's you, and you can relate to dysfunction in any way, then most likely your relationship with money is reflecting the same way. So your ego, when it sees a bank account with $0 or very little dollars, then it's going to say, well, you aren't worthy. You aren't valuable. You don't measure up. You are not enough. And your ego measures, and it gives you evidence again and again and again. Or you lost your title, or you stepped down. In my case, you stepped down from being the best, and therefore your gifts are no longer valid, right? Nobody really wants to work with you anymore because you don't have that title anymore. Or your best-selling books, they were so last year, right? So now what are you going to do? Because you're still not enough until you do something else. So whatever it is you're striving for, whatever it is your ego has told you, I want you to recognize that even though it's thrown all those parts of you in the garbage can because you no longer associate with those titles or with that particular bank amount, recognize that it has everything to do with your perception, with your beliefs in your second chakra and in your third chakra. This is really important because as far as the money piece goes, money is a representation of love. So what is your belief? Is your belief that you are always taken care of, that life was always safe, that everyone around you could be depended on and relied upon, and that if you loaned out the money, it would always come back twofold, with interest, as they say? If so, you probably don't have any problems with this and you're saying, I'm good. And congratulations, you're good. However, if you're saying, no, that really wasn't me, I was always a little bit scared. I was scared that the money wouldn't come back. I was feeling like I had to work really hard or nothing really came easy for me. Then recognize that the idea that money and love are housed in that same energy field, then it's really hard for you to think that money always takes care of you. If everyone around you couldn't be counted on or depended on, then how can you count and depend on money? So we just need to change your vibration, that you start to vibrate at the frequency of flow, of love, of currency, of money in a way that aligns you to your truth. And your ego might not be able to understand it at first. So recognize the signs of self-sabotage, which is, this is stupid, this is dumb, why am I doing this? Or making excuses for not getting it done. That's all the ego trying to put a cog in the wheel. So just keep persevering and recognizing that in order for you to shift and change, you need to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Many people talk about mantras, right? Mantras of money. And they're very important, but more importantly than the mantra is the feeling behind the mantra. And so this is the whole fake it until you make it. Keep moving your energies. And if many of you have watched my guided meditation, my moving meditations, you know that it's important to dance, to move, to walk, to shift your energies. So if you exercise, which I know many of you do, you get up and you go for a walk, or you stretch, you exercise, or you do different work in the gym. Some of you run. I want you to start, as you're moving, start using some of these mantras. I am abundant. I am generosity. Money is a representation of love, and money always takes care of me. I am abundant. I am generosity. Money is a representation of love, and money always takes care of me. I am abundant. I am generosity. Money is a representation of love, and money always takes care of me. As you're using these, you're recognizing that the money and the relationship to money is not outside of you. It has everything to do with what's inside of you. Money is love, and you are love, and everything comes down to that. So as you sit with that, you recognize how much this has to do with self-love, how much this has to do with your trust in the universe, that it's always going to have your back. Well, what is trust? It comes down to how much you trust yourself, how much you trust your intuition. Many of you have gone through my Be Your Own Intuitive Medium course. Just recognize that this is your opportunity by becoming more self-aware of your relationship to money. How much money are you willing to receive? See, many of us say, well, I'm willing to receive just enough to pay my bills, just enough to satisfy my monthly commitments, just enough to make quota, whatever it is, right? That's how much money, remember, money is love, you're willing to receive. So this has to do with receptors. It has to do with your receiving side. It has to do with how open are you? How moving are you on your receiving side, your feminine energy? How open are you to receiving? So I am abundant. I am generosity. Money is a representation of love, and money always takes care of me. Money is me. Money is love. Love is me.